Hello, I'm Ilarion and this is JavaScript TypeScript web automation course. Today we're gonna talk about actions. So we're gonna interact with the web elements on the page. I know we already did this on the first video of this course. We used JavaScript and we played with the elements in the Chrome DevTools console. And today we're gonna do pretty much the same thing, but we're gonna use Playwright methods for this. So we will see how Playwright does all the actions on the page and what happens actually under the hood. Okay, a quick follow-up after the previous video. So I wanted to say that it's already the 8th video of this course, and I really suggest you to write some notes while you're watching the videos, while you're playing with the Playwright yourself. Just write some notes. You can write it by hand, you can go to some Google Doc or Notion document and write the notes there. On each video I have some tips, I have something that I teach you, and again, if you don't repeat it, you'll forget it. If you don't write it down somewhere, you might probably also forget it. So let's say you forgot how to pause the test, right? Something that I showed on the previous video, which is playwright.pause. And that thing doesn't work because you just forgot that you have to run tests with / debug mode. And you're like, okay, Laren has 8 videos and now I have to scroll through each one of those and try to find in which video he showed how to do this. And if you would have notes, then it would be just a matter of 10 seconds just to find, okay, debug here, okay, then page pause here, that's it. So I do suggest you to write some notes. Okay, course content, today talking about actions on web elements. And one of the tools that we use almost every day now is YouTube. So you might think, okay, what's up with YouTube? Just play the video, stop video, that's it. Okay, and now I will show you some tips how to improve your experience when working with YouTube. So, okay, here's the video. You know how to start, stop it, right? Just hit the space. Space, start, stop it. Okay, let's say I want to speed it up. For this, I might go to the settings and set like playback speed 1 or 1.5 or 2. But actually we can do this faster. Just hit shift and let me turn off the volume here. All right, just shift and dot. Shift and dot, you see, I'm increasing the speed here. And then shift and comma, I'm decreasing the speed. Shift dot, shift comma. That's it. That's all I do. Just one click. I don't have to go to the settings and change it. It saves a lot of time because sometimes we are lazy. We're like, oh, okay, I would increase the speed or decrease it, but I'm lazy to go to the settings to change it. And yeah, I'll just continue watching. So this might save you some time. Then next thing is jumping 10 seconds forward and backward. For this, use letters L and J. So I'm hitting L. Let's say I'm watching the video. I'm watching the video and now I'm hitting L. You see, 10 seconds forward. If I hit it 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 50 seconds forward. Let's say I wanted to jump a few minutes forward. So just hit L, that's it. Let's say you're watching my video and you think that you just missed something that I showed you like 10 seconds ago. You looked away and then you missed what I showed you. For this, hit J. 10 seconds backward. You see, here it goes backward. Look at the timestamps. Yeah, it goes backward. And to stop the video, just press the button in between K. Start, stop, same as space. All right, so L forward, remember this. And shift dot to increase the speed, and shift comma to decrease the speed. And I have one more tip for you. Okay, let me show you the console, our favorite console. Video, video, and now playback rate, right? Playback rate 1.5. So YouTube allows us to change the playback rate only to 2 at maximum, right? But let's say we're watching some video and we want to increase the speed to 3. And I'm doing it here. So you see, I'm moving faster. Let's say I want to increase the speed to 5. Just watch me. Let's say I want to increase the speed to 8. Boom. And then again to 2. That's slow. And to 1 looks like I'm in slow motion. Okay, just remember this tip, and for some videos it will save you a lot of time. For example, for mine, where I'm speaking too slowly, I know. Let's move to the actions. Actions, the topic of our video today. What kind of actions do we have? Text input. To fill the input, we already did that in our tests. Let's see. Click, fill, here, search input. Get by label, search input. Okay, that's easy. Check boxes and radio buttons. We can check boxes like this, just do the check. Okay, checkboxes are just, can I show you some example? I'm not sure, maybe somewhere on GitHub. I'm sure somewhere on GitHub settings. Your profile. Yeah, I should have some projects, repositories. Edit status. Oh, here's checkbox. And we can check it. Input type checkbox, perfect. Okay, let's copy. Copy selector. Boom. And can we say checked? Yeah, we can say check. This is how we do it using JavaScript. Hop, it checked. Checked, false. Boom, unchecked. And we can do the same using Playwright. Just check and check. Then next is select options. Select option, select matching value or the label. Select option blue. So this is something, one or multiple options in the select element. Yeah, this is for select element. V3C, select. Yeah, so this is the select tag. Try it yourself. Let's see. Just a simple drop down. So this select element is just a simple drop down. We have select cars and then Volvo, Opel, Audi, some Saab. Don't know this car. Then, okay, remember, fill the input, then do the check on checkbox, then select option in drop-down, then do mouse click, this is 4, then do double click, just 1, 2, it goes like this, 1, 2. Then we can do the hover. Okay, let's try the hover. Okay, this one should have app navigation, and here I will change hover active. Come on, span. Oh, maybe I have to select this one. Oh, okay, this one. Yeah, this one has the hover. Okay, you see, when I hover over the element, it changes the text color. So I found this button, and here I'm kind of doing the hover, and it changes the color. I was showing you the hover. Okay, remember we had like 5, then we have this hover, then this is 6, then we have the click, with some position on the element. So this would click on the top left corner of the element. So usually Playwright clicks in the center of the element, and if you want to click in the some corner, some specific coordinate of the element, we have to specify X and Y position. All right, this was double click. This was right click, by the way, button right. So if you want to do the context click, the right click of the mouse, then use this one. Modifiers shift. If you want to click on something like with the shift key pressed, then just do this, modifier shift, and then it does the click, like pressing the shift, do the click, then release shift. All right, what else? Forcing the click, hovering element overlays with another element that intercepts the click. Yeah, so sometimes you will have some elements overlapping. So element is in HTML. Let's say we have one button and another button. We have one button hidden behind this another bigger button, and we still want to click on this one. We still want to click on this one, but it's not visible on the page. And sometimes in tests we just want to force click it. Usually Playwright will throw exception, like this button is not visible, this one which is behind is not visible. But we can like do the force click, so it will still click this button even though it's hidden behind the bigger one. All right, I will talk about this a bit later. Then press sequentially. So remember we had some fill method which fills the input. So we have some input, again showing you here. We have some input here by label search, and then we fill it with search input. And we can also use this press sequentially. Press sequentially also like this one inserts text into element, and this one just presses the keys one by one. So that one just kind of inserts the whole text, and this one presses one by one. And obviously this one is slower. And this is what Playwright says. Most of the time you should input text with locator fill. That's what we had initially. And yeah, sometimes you might need to just click the buttons one by one. Click the buttons on keyboard. Okay, that one is clear. Then press. Press is just pressing some keyboard key. Just enter, control plus arrow right, this $, whatever. You can find all the elements somewhere. Yeah, most of them are here, but you can find all of them somewhere here in the docs. Yeah, keyboard event, key property. Here you will see all, you can find all the possible actions. Shift, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, somewhere we should have key values, predefined key values. Yeah, here. Alt, caps lock, a lot of them. All right. Moving on. Then pressed Shift plus A. 2 buttons at the same time. All right. Then uploading files. Okay, this is interesting. We might want to try one of these. Let's. Yeah, for this I need some website to upload the files. Yeah, but that's fine. Maybe we want to try this one later. Then focusing element. That's what I showed you. Like when we focus element, focus, unfocus. So when we focus, border changes. And we can focus element using Playwright. Then drag and drop. Drag and drop is when you take some element, then you move it somewhere, to another place, and then you drop it there. And here how we can do this using Playwright. Just find the first element and then drag to this locator. So find element here, click on it, then drag the mouse, move the mouse to this locator, another locator, and then release the mouse. Then what else? We have dragging manually. Okay, this also works. So locator, we just hover over the element, then we do mouse down, like holding the mouse down, then locator, then we move the mouse, hover over another element, and then we do mouse up meaning release. Yeah, so click, no, move locator to a specific element, then mouse down, then move to another element and mouse up. That's what the user does when they do drag and drop, dragging manually. All right, that's it for actions on this page. Let's talk about keyboard events. Let's see what Playwright gives us. Okay, so we have type method. Type method is something that kind of inserts the text, so it doesn't press sequentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then presses some key, then down like holds the key, then up releases the key. So shift, we can shift down, then write something, then shift up. All right, pressing backspace, I think that's clear. Okay, so down, insert text, press, type, up. Actually, what's the difference between insert text and type? That's interesting. Okay, Playwright suggests us to use the fill method instead. Okay, cool. Type, insert text, type. Yeah, we want to check this. Then press, yeah, again, just pressing some buttons on the keyboard. Key up, key down is like pressing and not releasing. Key up is releasing the button, and pressing is just key down, key up. That's what it does. All right, and now let's discuss some interview question, which is asked like since forever, since Selenium was born. So usually most of the frameworks have two methods for inserting text into the input, or maybe even three. Yeah, but well, now let's look at these two. So first method that Playwright gives us is fill, and fill inserts text into the element. So just imagine that it kind of copy pastes the text into some input. And this method, press sequentially, it does the typing one by one. So let's say we have some text here, hello, and here also hello. And what Playwright will do, if we do this with the fill method, then Playwright will just kind of copy this text and paste it into the element, into the input. Just imagine this in this way. And for this one, Playwright would send browser comments like, okay, press H, release H, then press E on the keyboard, release E from the keyboard, then L, and so on. So for this one, it takes, yeah, actually I wrote it here, key down, key up. So for each letter, it does key down, key up, then this one, key down, key up. Yeah, and that's the way it fills the input. Right, and yeah, also we have key down, key up. Yeah, oh, you remember, key down is like pressing the key and not releasing it. Key up is releasing the key, and press does both at the same time. Just it does key down, then key up. So like we users, we on the keyboard we click press on some button, press release, press release. Okay, execute JavaScript and playwright test. Now actually first I want to show you here fill. Let's test everything. Fill, and what's another method? Press sequentially. Press sequentially, and I'll just press sequentially. Yeah, we don't care about all this stuff. Let's just press. Yeah, let's see what playwright does when we do the fill. Let's write it to the logs. Blog, blah blah blah. So just running the test and writing everything to debug file. So let's see what playwright sends to the browser. Debug playwright protocol. Where's our file? Logs. And let's find here search input, the text that we are pasting. Okay, so playwright, what playwright does, here's the text. Here's the text. Let's move to the left. Runtime call function. Okay, this one here. Insert text. So playwright sends this method with this parameter using Chrome DevTools protocol to the Chrome. And here we have, yep, insert text. This is Chrome DevTools protocol. And insert text actually emulates inserting text. So as I told you, it's like copy pasting the text into the input. All right, so this is what playwright does for the fill method. And now let's try the same for this press sequentially method. Okay, running. Okay, and now we don't have occurrences of this string, but what we do have is s text s. Yep. So in this case, what I already told you, like playwright dispatches some input event key down, and this is the key s. So when we use this method, playwright sends the keyboard key down s, then dispatch key event key up s. So like user type s and release the key. Then next letter is E, search, what it does, key down, key up. So, and it sends all these requests one by one to the browser. Actually, let's measure how much time each of these methods take. Let's say loop for 200 iterations. Okay, let's run something 200. Let's input this text 200 times with the fill method. This is just basic JavaScript loop to run some comments like here 200 times. Okay, so we will fill this info. Let's make it bigger. So we are pasting this text, and here we'll do the same later. Okay, so we'll do this 200 times. Let's check how much time this would take. Okay, this took 3.5 seconds. And most of this time was spent on launching the browser, launching, like loading the website, and just doing 200 insertions like this. And now let's do the same using this method, press sequentially. Remember, it sends the requests one by one to the browser, like hit this key, release, hit this key, release. And now 3.5. You remember with the fill method it was 3.5. With this one, okay, this takes a while. But still, let's wait until it finishes. Wow, does it really take so long to press sequentially? That's interesting. Search, press sequentially, timeout exceeded, waiting for get by label search, locator resolved to element handle type, press sequentially. Why doesn't want to get by label, press sequentially? Get by label, block navigation exceeded, element handle type, locator resolved to input name, view text autocomplete off required. Let's try with 100 iterations. Okay, let me try, or let's say just 10 iterations. That's odd. Okay, this one worked. With 10 iterations it worked. Let's try with 100 iterations. One, two, three, four, five. Just fill in the silence. Okay, this one didn't time out. Yeah, you see, so the one which had 200 iterations, it just timed out. It couldn't press sequentially all these 200 times. Okay, so this one took 13.5 seconds. So 10 seconds more than with the fill method. And actually fill method was 200 iterations. Yeah, so you see, this one takes way more time, and the longer the text is, the longer it takes to type it. So this one is pretty simple, just inserting the text on the page. Okay, actually we can do this even faster. Let's use some JavaScript magic. So remember, we were playing with some elements on the page, like let's say this is the input, copy selector, and then I'll do the click. So this is JavaScript click. Oh, actually I'm not, yeah, I didn't want to do the click. Value, I want to set value. And what's the value? Search. Yep, so I'm setting this value. Okay, so this is the JavaScript way of setting the value. It's pretty much similar to what this method does, fill. Pretty much similar. So this one inserts the text into input, and this one, yeah, kind of also inserts text in the input, but not it's not using the Chrome DevTools protocols. So they are a little bit different. So this one uses Chrome DevTools protocol. If you remember, I showed you here, insert text. Yeah, this method. And this one just uses plain JavaScript. Plain JavaScript and sets the value of the input. So it manipulates the DOM right away. Okay, okay, and now let's do some magic. So we had 100 iterations. Let's see how much time this one takes. Actually want to run it in UI mode. UI. Let's try. Yeah, I'm really curious which one would be faster. All right. Yep. So each of these takes around before, after. Okay. Each one of these, the insertion, takes around 15, 20, yeah, around 20 milliseconds. All right. Each one of these takes around 20 milliseconds. And we can do it even faster if we want. Let's do the following. Await execute JS. Playwright evaluate. Nice. Now I want to get my input. What's my input? Selector, form control search. Yeah, I'll just use this CSS. Form control search. Document query selector value. Yeah, that should work. It complains that it doesn't have the click, but we can fix it like this. As what is HTML? Do we have input? Input element. All right. Yeah, this should work. Okay, so here what do? We execute JavaScript. So this is JavaScript, document query selector, and we just set the value. That's what we did in console here. Set the value of the input. And yeah, we are just evaluating the JavaScript on the page and executing this 100 times. All right, let's try to run this. Okay, I'm running this, and these take on average 10 milliseconds. So using plain JavaScript is even faster. But yeah, Playwright does some additional checks when Playwright executes the fill method, which I by accident deleted. Okay. So we did this even faster, and to make it even faster, we can actually run this loop inside of execute.js inside of here. Boom. Evaluate. Okay, let me try to run this. Didn't run. Execute. Yeah, I messed something up here. Evaluate. Execute. Something's missing. Something is definitely missing here. Okay, so I have this one. Okay, I didn't close this one. All right. No, still something messed up. What? What does it want from me? No, it should be fine. Come on. Didn't run. Why? Okay, this one should run. Okay, no errors. Come on, seriously? Oh, okay. One more is missing. So I have this for loop, right? And this is closed. Okay, this is for loop. This is one is closed. Then I have this one. Wow, am I too tired? What's going on? Okay, removing this. Everything looks fine, right? So everything is closed. This one is closed. This one is closed. What's wrong with this one? Page. What does it say? Comma expected. Where? Oh, here. That was hard. Okay, and now let's run this in one go. Let's do it. Playwright watch. Okay, now it took just 12 milliseconds to do all the stuff. So how to summarize what we just did? Like, JavaScript is always the fastest. Evaluating some script using JavaScript. So this is evaluate this JavaScript inside of the browser. This is the fastest way to change something on the web page. But most of the times just go with this one. This is like what Playwright suggests. This is this looks prettier than this one. But sometimes I'm just showing you that sometimes you might have to execute some JavaScript inside of the page. And here is how you can do this with page evaluate. All right, but always go with the fill method. It's much faster and it does some additional checks like for element visibility, like that it's not hidden, etc. Okay, moving on. So this was about press sequentially and fill, and then press. Let's say what this press does. Let's say get by label, press. Let's press enter or shift plus enter. And let's see what happens with this test. Running this in UI. No UI for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, run the test. Now let's see the logs. Let's see the logs and let's try to find in logs what happens. Shift plus enter. We don't have such thing. We have shift left, shift. Okay. So what happens here? Playwright sends dispatch key event, which is Chrome DevTools protocol method. Input dispatch key event, row key down. Row key down, and here it sends key down for enter. So what Playwright does, Playwright first presses on shift, then presses on enter, enter, then Playwright sends key up. Key up is releasing enter and releasing shift. Key up, shift. That's what Playwright does. So Playwright sends 4 comments for this method. Inside of this method, Playwright sends 4 comments when we have 2 keys here. If we would have just shift, then Playwright would send 2 comments, key down and key up. That's it. Okay, just know, you have to know what's inside. Okay, execute JavaScript and Playwright tests. We already did that. I showed you that we can execute JavaScript. Just it's the same code that you would use here, by the way, in console. Boom. Oh, unexpected, because this is TypeScript. Unexpected, yeah, like this should work. Boom, you see, 100 times. It takes 10 milliseconds to run. And we can copy it from here, and wherever we do in console, we can copy it to our tests just to execute some custom scripts on the page. Okay, that was another tip of the day. Now mouse moves. We already seen like this click, double click, then click, right click. Okay, what do we have? Moving mouse is just to the left upper corner, 0 0. Then mouse down, meaning click on the mouse, normal click on the mouse. Then mouse move somewhere, then mouse move somewhere else, and then mouse up, releasing the mouse. Okay, and methods that we have are click, double click, down. So this click thing, it does mouse. Let's see what it does. Well, let's first review the methods we have. So down, like down, then move is just moving somewhere the mouse, then up, releasing, and wheel is just scrolling the wheel, doing the scroll. Okay, let's see what happens behind this click method. Click. Okay, we already have it, and we already ran the test with this click. Let's see. Click. Yeah, that's interesting. Click. So runtime function, blah blah blah. Runtime function, dispatch mouse event. Okay, here are the 3. Mouse moved. Yep. So this click method does mouse move, mouse moved, input dispatch mouse event, mouse moved, then mouse down, mouse pressed. Mouse pressed is like mouse down, the same thing, and mouse released. Released is up. So click does 3 things under the hood, and same does the press. You remember on keyboard, press does key down and then key up. Okay, and Playwright just simplifies it for us, and Playwright just gives us the click method, not to do all 3 by ourselves. Shortcut for, oh, this is what's written here. Shortcut for mouse move, mouse down, mouse up, and we already seen this in the logs, in the Chrome DevTools protocol events. Okay, what else I wanted to show you? Okay, and actually it clicks not on some specific element, it moves the mouse to specific coordinates on the page. So somewhere it returns this coordinate, somewhere, do you remember what we have in the test? I will remind you, where's here. So we get this element by label. We get this element by label, search. Okay, search. And then Playwright gives us some object ID. And somewhere it should return the, yeah, actually I can find it another way. Key down. I want to find the click. Mouse released, and here are the coordinates. Let me just find these coordinates. 1 2 3. Oh, 5. Okay, this is what we need. Call function, Yeah, so Playwright gives the kind of the exact coordinates. I thought browser should return this, but yeah, maybe browser just returns the coordinates of the element on the page, and then Playwright calculates the center of the element, which is for x it's this one and for y it's this one. Yeah, I think that's what happens. Oh, and by the way, clicks count is double click. Let's see what double click does. Double click. Double click. Mouse released. Click count 2. Yeah, so click count 1 and click count 2. So it does double click on the same element. Okay, cool. Moving on. Question click and dispatch event click. So okay, this is the click that we just reviewed. Click made by Playwright. So it does 3 actions: moved, pressed, and released. And then dispatch event. Dispatch event click is just JavaScript click. It's the one that we played with here. So we just did the click on the element. We can choose this one. So it does some action. Button, copy, selector. Boom, and do the click. Boom, and it does the search. And this is the way that Playwright gives us to do this JavaScript click. So it's always better to use this click like real user does, but sometimes you might want to use this one. This is like just force click, call the JavaScript on click method. Just one command: no mouse move, mouse pressed, release. Just do the click using JavaScript. But again, it's always better to use this one. This is what you have your automation for, right? You want to kind of interact with the page as real users do. So go with this one: mouse move, pressed, released. Now let's see what else we have in this locator docs. Method all, just returning all elements. If we want to iterate over them, all inner text. Let's see the actions that we have. And voting box check. Okay, check is checking, unchecking. Checkbox clear. Clear does removes the text from the input or text box, whatever text area. Then click, we reviewed that. Count is like count of the elements, or used to have count. Double click, dispatch event. These are the kinds of JavaScript events that we can dispatch. For example, this click, then drag to is like moving for drag and drop. Evaluate for executing JavaScript. We did that. Evaluate all, taking all matching elements as an argument. Yeah, this one a bit more complicated evaluation of JavaScript on the page, because this one passes the divs. how do I call it? The elements. So first it finds these elements, and then for this locator, for each div element, we are executing this JavaScript function. Yeah, probably you won't need it. Evaluate handle, don't need it. Fill, reviewed it. Filter first, yes, first on the previous lecture. Focus is like focusing an element, like an input, focus an input. Get attribute, these are selectors, hover, just hovering over. Like right now I'm hovering over these menu items and they change the color. Inner HTML, this is what we can do in the browser console. Inner text, input value is checked. We can check whether checkbox is checked. Okay, do we have more actions here? Press, okay, press sequentially. What else do I have here? Screenshot. I don't see. I just have my setup here on the screen. If you have any other actions here underneath, then just go read about them. All right. So that was it for today's lecture. Today we learned most of the possible actions user can do on the web page, interacting with the keyboard, with the mouse. That's it. Keyboard, mouse. Write test using a AAA pattern. Let's review this in the next video, okay? Yeah, as always, go to some website, whatever you prefer, use some actions, type in inputs, click on the keyboard, do some mouse events, just play with it, please. Why am I saying please play with it? It's for you, it's not for me. Okay, next time, today we covered actions. Next time we're gonna cover multiple topics, assertions and AAA pattern. We haven't covered it today. All right, and maybe something else, we'll see. Yep, assertions, checks, and AAA pattern. As always, a reminder, JavaScript. As always, reminder, like, share, subscribe. I'm watching you. No, I'm just kidding. Go to my, where I have my GitHub here. Yeah, go to my GitHub, follow me here on the followers, go check the code for this automation course, Advanced Playwright. Hit the star, I really appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for supporting me in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye.